It's mid-June and birding is getting more challenging. The warblers that summer in Canada have migrated through. The Twin Cities is about the furthest north the blue-winged warbler makes it, so we are still hearing their buzzy song and occasionally seeing them. The lark sparrow is more of a western bird. We found these guys feeding in the prairie grass at the Crow-Hassan. They are easy to identify from other sparrows because of their striped face pattern. Unlike most sparrows, they walk instead of hopping. Another sparrow-like bird that breeds in grasslands is the dick sissel. They do not show up in Minnesota until about June 1st, but they can be found the rest of the summer singing on power lines. This year, the eastern cottontail has been more successful than ever. You cannot go birding anywhere without seeing one. Last video, I found 2 immature male orchard orioles, so here is a mature one. I did see one of those barred owls from about 10 feet away, but I failed on the photo. I really don't need any more photos of the scarlet tanager, but I'm carrying the camera, so I might as well take a picture of something. I've had my eye out for baby pileated woodpeckers poking their head out of a nest cavity. So far, only adults. I believe time is running short as they fledge at 3 to 4 weeks, which should be sometime in late June. One night at dusk, the neighborhood great horned owl landed in the tree by our pond. I thought it was trying to grab one of the baby mallards when it swooped low over the pond. Its presence was announced by every bird going crazy. The next morning, we got up early to find the Acadian flycatcher, which has been spotted in Monticello. It looks very similar to other flycatchers and also has a quick 2-syllable call. Since we were a little north of its normal range, Merlin would not pick it up until we manually set our location. With its loud call, peaked head, and long bill, it was definitely the Acadian. There are 18 flycatchers in the United States, and we have now seen 8 this year. Another bird was calling that was also a bit north of its range. The cerulean warbler is a brilliant sky blue. However, it stays high in the canopy, and it's impossible to capture the coloring of a warbler when you have to shoot straight up. This was our 24th warbler of the year, and now that our neck muscles are at mid-season strength, we probably only have 3 more that we can find in Minnesota. It's time to start seeing baby birds of all kinds. These sandhill cranes and their colts were hanging out in the cornfield. The colts won't fly for 2 months. They are not trying to reenact Field of Dreams. They actually target planted seeds. When they can't find waste corn from the previous year, they will actually pull up seedlings to get the seeds. I've been seeing barn swallows hanging out by water a lot lately. They will fly over the water to eat the insects, but they also need the mud for building their nests. We were at this pond to find the least bittern. We did hear its soft cooing call in the cattails, but it would not come out. We had to settle for photos of baby wood ducks and the green heron instead. Another bird that's hard to get to come out from hiding in the cattails is the Sora. When you see them swimming, they often look like they're going to tip over forward. If you were into the Sora, stick around until the end of this video, where we almost adopt one as a pet. The yellow-headed blackbird always nests over water. The males spend most of their time defending their territory of prime nesting reeds. Merlin calls their conqueree a grating mechanical song, but I actually kind of like it. I've decided the willow flycatcher is my favorite of Minnesota's flycatchers. It can really only be identified by its Fitzbugh call, which kind of sounds like a sneeze. One day we ventured to the very far away Lost Valley Prairie Scientific and Natural Area to find the yellow-breasted chat. Instead, we found the slightly less exciting Bell's vireo. Merlin describes them as fairly drab, which is accurate. I didn't plan on getting one in Minnesota this year because the northern part of their range is Iowa. That makes 6 vireos for 2025, with only the Philadelphia left to potentially find. The yellow-breasted chat is an interesting bird with a cool call that is not usually found in Minnesota. The one we were looking for in Washington County had been seen a couple days earlier, but this day he was a no-show, and we gave up after an hour. If you Google them, they are always described as skulking. What does skulking mean? The Oxford Dictionary defines it as keeping out of sight, typically with a sinister or cowardly motive. Sounds right. Next, we made our third attempt at seeing the blue grosbeak, which hangs out by a marsh near a landfill in Dakota County the last 2 summers. When we were just about to leave, it suddenly appeared on a fence about 100 yards from the road. We snapped a few quick photos before it flew far away. If you haven't noticed a pattern, we are mainly looking for shy birds that have strayed a little north of their summer range, hence frustration. Before leaving the marsh, we did capture the belted kingfisher. In our tour of the South Metro, we moved on to Scott County, to the Murphy-Henneran Park Reserve. We had been here before to see hooded warblers, but on that occasion in May, we did not find the summer tanager that hangs out in this park. There is nothing so sad as driving over an hour for a rare bird and not finding it, but it definitely does happen. Usually on the second trip, with more determination, we are more successful. The day before, someone had spotted the summer tanager on the opposite side of the park from its usual spot. We checked the usual spot and then proceeded to walk 2 miles to the new spot, only to strike out. Before returning to the car, we decided to check the original spot one more time. Suddenly, we heard a bird calling. Was it the more common scarlet tanager? No, it was the summer tanager. Success! The adult male summer tanager is completely red with no black wings. This makes it the only completely red bird in North America. I wonder why the other one got to be called scarlet and this one had to settle for summer. Both sound raspy like a sore-throated robin, but instead of calling chick-burr like the scarlet tanager, its call is more of a pitatuk. Both breed in mature forests and both can be heard calling from high in the trees most of the day. Maybe this is how this guy came to be here, accidentally following the scarlet tanagers and excitedly claiming its territory before realizing there would be no female summer tanagers anywhere north of Missouri. Don't feel bad, presumably a different summer tanager made this same mistake and arrived here last summer. Even though they are bright red, they can be tough to find. This day, the summer tanager cooperated beautifully, not only letting us find him, but choosing a great low perch for photographing him. Finally, a June birding moment we're celebrating. Later that night, I went to the water treatment plant to see if any ruddy ducks were hanging out close enough for photographs. As per usual, every duck except mallards is always as far away as they can be. The sunset did provide for some cool shots of barn swallows and sandpipers, though. The next day, we set out on Pelican Lake in the canoe to check on the pelican colony nesting on the islands. It was a rainy day, but calm, which is good for canoeing. Last year, someone counted 800 pelicans on this lake. I'll take their word for it. We didn't realize it until later, but when this guy said cheese, he accidentally dropped his fish. Last year, we showed up on June 1st, and the pelicans had obviously just hatched because they still had no feathers. They developed the downy feathers within a few days of hatching. The ones that still have no feathers were mostly being sat on. I'm not sure if this helps with keeping them warm, or if this is one of those situations where the babysitter thinks they're supposed to sit on the baby. A pelican will flap its bill to help itself cool down. This is similar to a dog panting. The fluttering releases excess heat from the blood vessels in the pouch. As you have seen, cormorants also nest in colonies and share these islands with the pelicans. Both build large bowl-shaped nests with lots of sticks. They have a symbiotic relationship where nesting together gives them more protection from predators. This is a shallow lake, but I believe the species work together in fishing. Cormorants dive deeper and can most likely drive fish to the pelicans who are waiting to scoop them near the surface. To be honest, the relationship seems more beneficial to the pelican. But maybe it's the price of rent in their colony. Either way, the cormorants seem to be thriving. Since a pelican can weigh between 10 and 30 pounds, I was curious as to how they take off from water. They usually run on the water using their webbed feet to gain some forward speed. Their 9-foot wingspan, coming in second only to the California condor, helps them generate lift. They look a little clumsy at takeoff, but everything else they do is a picture of grace. They ride thermals with ease, but you can also see them gliding just off the water. This is using a strategy called the ground effect. Birds can normally glide for a while using their wing shape to take advantage of Bernoulli's principle. Basically, air moves faster over the wing, creating lift from low pressure. Eventually, drag slows the gliding bird, and it has to put in energy or it won't continue to generate lift. But when they are just off the water, the downwash from the wings has nowhere to go and it bounces back off the water, creating a cushion of high-pressure air for the pelican to glide on. On the way back to the landing, we see a pied-billed grebe with 4 babies. The babies stand out from other waterfowl with a zebra-like facial pattern. The chicks are already good at diving. Here, the mother exhibits a dramatic crash dive. They do this dive when in danger by using their wings to push themselves down with their tail and head disappearing last, shooting water several feet in the air. It's fast. After landing the canoe, Lucas spotted a Sora approaching the landing. This was our first time ever seeing one so close. It was eating a bug with a side of duckweed. They are the most common rail in Minnesota, and we often hear this sound. But they never come out where we can see them, until today. This guy even eventually made his way onto the dock. If you were into rail hunting, you probably have hunted a Sora. It's not many of you. I actually think less than 500 people a year in Minnesota. With a small game license and HIP certification for migratory birds, you can hunt Virginia rail, common gallinule, and Sora starting September 1st each year. The daily limit is 25, and the possession limit is 75. Most likely, they would all be Sora, since that is by far the most common rail. I'm guessing you need quite a few to get a meal. The main reason most people don't hunt rails is they don't come out. Hunters often throw rocks in the cattails because Sora just can't help making their call when they hear a noise, but getting them to flush or come out of the cattails is almost impossible. This was my first time seeing their green legs and feet. They easily walk in any floating vegetation and their legs blend in so well with the reeds. Even when the birding slows down in June, you never know what's going to happen. See you next time.